And it's not that the younger kid generation is not important. It's just younger kids, they typically tend to always have a brilliance to them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like by natural default, they have this brilliance to them until they start getting a little older in that pre-teenage years, and then they become conscious, they become
Weight of
worried,
adulting.
they're starting to adult. So as far as like you know, what group I'm speaking of, I'm really speaking of probably in my heart, the preteens to older kids, just because I feel like I have a connection with them.
Too many parents are definitely not given this information. My experience is incredibly unique, and I run into this all of the time. So my dad was CEO of a bank, Citicorp, and I mean, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was 8 years old. We would sit down at the dinner table and faux budget with coins, right? Like went through all of that. And when I would be like, my friends was like, "Oh yeah, well, have you budgeted that?" And they're like, what? And I was like, you don't have a single page budgeting sheet that you're working from? And they're like, oh, what did you just say to me? And it put me in a completely different place from my peers as they're trying to adult and terrified. Like, okay, so I'm going to date myself, right? Because it was like, how do you even fill out a check? We don't use those anymore. But once upon a time, I'm like just having to pay the rent check would stress them out because am I putting things in the right place? So
Mhm.
if you're not getting that information, and it's not like early education can spend a lot of time. So having somebody who can speak to those kids who are headed into that adulting place in a practical way that makes them feel empowered rather than belittled by the system as they are getting ready to go, if that's where your passion lies. And it's going to be aspirational. It doesn't necessarily.
This welcome center would be a place where they can come, use resources, maybe learn on how to do business structures, one day, one session, or learn how to pick up books, having those free resources, attending workshops, attending masterminds. Those are all things that I'd like to do, for the children that are out there, especially those who are transitioning into adulthood, is getting them ready ahead of time versus not having a plan for them.